Damn it, why my vtuber not showing? Oh, here I am. G'day. Still have no idea how to bloody start streams. Let's go I'm just gonna launch Limbus Company. Sorry that my stream started a little bit late. Took me a second to get out of bed. Hopefully we can get through the last part of this, intervalo. If you saw the last stream, basically all that happened was we entered a mirror dungeon and unlocked a new character. And I do not feel sorry for that character's death. Why do I have an at? Okay, jump to drive, event opening. Yeah, this place still seems worse to me than damn T-Corp. Re-enter the Phasms. Phasms. We emerge into a dark and muggy cavern filled with air so stale it's almost felt stifling. Up ahead, a thin ray of light shone through the darkness, seemingly guiding our path. Following the light led us to a four-way fork in the road. A constant, powerful gust howled through one of the paths. Another was filled with a metallic tang, the smell of blood. Then there was a path that was entirely silent, and the last one echoed with the harsh noise of swords striking against sword. Which path should we choose? The wind howling path, the smell of blood, the silent path. Let's go swords. I don't know how many people are fighting up there. We must proceed with caution, executive manager. There may be a battle underway. The sinners all looked disconcerted at the striking noise of metal against metal. Wait. Okay, good. Just need to look over something. Battle. We stood ready in troubled silence as a sound. And I just realized game audio is not getting captured. Just great. Game. There we go. Fixed. Start. Death remade. Stones. Alright, the kind of one hanging on the hilt. Ah, okay. Red tassel. If the target has 1.5 or lower slash resistance plus 0.3. That's not the worst. Ryoshu, you. Wait. You. And let's take you. Guess we're gonna take you as well. Normally miss marches this side. Oh yeah, Bamboo had to Kim. Oh no, it's a damn chain battle. Yep. Neutral, favored, dominating. And go like that. Most likely that unit there is going to die if we don't have her at a high enough level to do anything. Only thing that might save her if it's her damn passive of always dodging stuff. If she can actually get the coins to hit. No, I can't yield. Yeah, go that one. Ah, she actually won it. Neat. Not expecting that. Like, so if I really want to, I could use this. I think I'll save that for any. I think I'll save up any ego usage for a boss though. And that is horrible, so I guess defensive. And with the crossbow now. The crossbow that melts your flesh. And now it's literally the final, guys. I'm just gonna click win rate. Yep. Yielding flesh to claim bones. Any, mini, money, mo. Catch a tugger by the toe. If it squeals, let it go. Any, mini, money, mo. Oh no, they'll be long. Yeah, sure, let's go this one. Navigating our way through the streets of Escorp, we come across a young man hugging a blade, his gaze wandering blankly towards the sky. He seems to have caught us staring. He turns his head towards us, gave us a once-over, then slumped back where he sat. I just realised I don't know where my glasses... I probably should be wearing my glasses, but I've got no idea where the hell they are. Bloody misplaced all my pairs of glasses again. Which is bloody annoying. So... Pass on by, folks. I have no interest of bringing you harm. His voice was familiar, but I couldn't quite place my finger on it. Search not for a revelation in the clouds drifting by, for they hold no answers. Kim bursts out of the blue as we were about to walk past the sword-hugging man. Oh, then that man must be... Do you know me? Must I know you to impart some unsolicited advice? A meddler in me simply cannot help himself when passing a disadvantaged game of Bakuk. The man widened his eyes in brief surprise, then began in a contemplative voice. You are a player of greater than, then. I can tell, so if you will permit me to solicit some advice. Shamed I am for my past plays, for they were dishonourable and deserving of ridicule. Thus I had begun to wonder if I would be of better use should I become a blade for hire. Then a man of incorruptible integrity, a just soul, sought me out and asked me that I serve as his blade. Yet I worry that my filths may befoul his hands too. What say you? Would you say that I take this opportunity and make this play, or... Let bamboo-headed Kim answer. Shamed you may be of your past plays, yet what of it? What choice have you got but to continue placing those stones, when the game shall avail you no mercy of reverting a move? What if continuing this play leads me to lose all of my territories? Then resign the game. You've given it all to the end, and if it is indeed a bitter one, then what can you do? The least you can do is play it until the game is called. You're playing by following the flow anyhow, aren't you? Though we have but just met, it seems as though your gaze penetrates deep into my bones, stranger. Take this as a token of my thanks for your meddling. A light bulb seemed to have gone off in his head. Light flashes in the eyes of the man, or bamboo-hatted Kim of the past, and he jumped to his feet and sped off, but not before handing us something. Not that you'll be able to do anything to change the course of this losing game, I think I heard Kim whisper. And gifted Flagroot Cane Sword obtained. If an ally was not hit by an enemy this turn... Okay, that's neat. I'm assuming that it doesn't activate until turn 2 though. And even more of these guys. And barely any damage. Come on, Rodion. Okay, maybe bringing, just realised bringing this Gregor was not a good idea. They're bloody negative units. That was not the smartest choice I've made. And rent space. And Shin unlocked. And hopeless. Neutral. Hopeless. You know, let's test out the ego, I guess. And the ego failed. Oh no, it didn't. No, the actual bamboo-hatted Kim I was looking at. Actually, somewhat decent damage. Yeah, I'm definitely regretting bringing sinking units on this team. This one's gonna suck. To claim their bones. Kinda makes sense you're hospitalized a lot, dude, considering you keep losing clashes in order to win. There we go. And still got a bit of a way. I catch a glimpse of a figure staring off into the darkness of the unlit prison. Huh? Bamboo-hatted Kim let out a sigh, but before he even fully exhaled. Who goes there? A sharp cry cuts through the stagnant air. Someone here must have noticed us. What should we do? Honestly, I'm surprised the city even has a prison. I just thought they killed their prisoners. Should we do... Claim that we are the prison guards keeping an eye out for prisoners, unsheath our weapons and stand ready for battle. This one. At least put a little effort into your lives. Clearly pretending to be prison guards the way we are was a lie too easily disproven. We took to our heels as the woman, red with anger, came after us with her sword unsheathed. Nothing happened. Ah well. Oh wait, she's dead. I did not realise that. Damn. I'm gonna very quickly grab a drink. Depending on how long this chapter of the game takes, I may literally just start streaming Minecraft after this. No, it can't be. My life. The experience, the memories I had recorded are different. Alas. Kim came to a stop with a grim look on his face. Again I am returned to this day. His voice had dropped to the same morsel of pitch we had heard before. Mentor? I have been here before. Have you? Had a peek into my memories when I had distorted, did you? I must say, it's a bit embarrassing to have my deepest and darkest secrets revealed like that. Kim grinned sheepishly as though to clear the air, but it was becoming rather clear to me what he was doing. That his flippant demeanor and seemingly devil-may-care attitude were but a mask to hide the true darkness in his heart. Then this must be, indeed, the right state councillor's estate. Someone whom I had once protected, though was thought was worth protecting. Kim pushed open the main gates and made his way into the front yard. What shall Ung do? Take a tall step over, or you might trip. There were bodies splayed about the yard, and I couldn't dare start counting them. I felt faint watching the aftermath of a carnage. Some were decapitated, some had their torsos split diagonally, and some of them were so mangled that I could hardly even tell which part belonged to whom. Are they not retainers of the royal court? What were they doing at the council? No, were they killed by assassins? Assassins did infiltrate the estate, yes. You're looking at what remains of them. Though I had but a moment to glimpse it, I clearly remembered what the S-Corp logo I saw in Kim's phasms looked like. The hats these corpses are or were wearing are adorned with the same logo. So why is Bamboo Head and Kim calling them assassins? In this corrupt land, the right state councillor's life was always as precious as a candlelight in a tempest. Such is the fate of all those who had the guts to speak the truth in S-Corp, where positions of influence are hoarded by corrupt sycophants who choke hold on power is ironic. Ironclad. The most prominent among them, the left state councillor, with the chief state councillor's blessing, sought to wield his own private army to silence forevermore the tongues of those who had advocated against the corruption. Private army? But they are prohibited in our homeland. So they're kinda like how the great house of H-Corp each had their own armies. That is similar to what is happening, but not exactly. If S-Corp's circumstances were to be explained in plainer terms, it would be akin to a situation in which a company whose employees outwardly appear to be all working for the same side is in fact fractured within, with certain departments pledging allegiance to a different individual than the chief executive. What assassins there had been in the past at least wore masks to hide their allegiance. I had thought this no different though, with assassins significantly less invested in maintaining their disguises. Not realizing that I had just placed my stones inside the tiger's maw. Honestly, why would assassins need to wear masks? The whole point is to make sure no one's around to remember they were there. So the idea of them wearing masks doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, they're all dead anyway, so why does it matter? Looking around at the yard teeming with the assassins, I recall thinking it's odd just how many of them they had sent. Though the left state councillor's power had grown to loom over that of the king, I should have realized how ridiculous such a brazen attempt on the life of one of the triumvirate councillors at the royal court would have been foolish. I have failed you, councillor. There were simply too many of them, as though they had decided that tonight was the night they would finally slay the councillor, or die trying. I was so overwhelmed, and some of them eventually managed to get around me and reached the councillor's bedchamber. The moment I heard them breach the door, all strength left me, and I fell to my knees. I, Kim Lim, a poor excuse of a bodyguard, and I failed you. And I knew who the author of the foul scheme was, left state councillor. Let this be my first act of loyalty, I depart this life. Though I am too meagre a person to carry on your will, councillor, what can do is plant the seed of terror in the heart of the unjust, if only the shackle their blankest hearts for committing greater misdeeds. I shall go before the villain who contrived this betrayal, and see that the favour is repaid with steel. Only by such vengeance shall the councillor at least close his eyes in his grave. Also, I had thought... What? Greetings, honoured bodyguard of the right councillor. I see that you've been hard at work. Accursed parasite. I ought to flay you alive and reveal the wicked soul underneath. Some gal, you have shown your face here. Oh, here, you mean the home of the Honourable Right State Councillor who toils day and night in service to the royal court? I know the assassins were sent by the left state councillor. Get out of my way. I shall clutch your head once my task here is over. Alas, alas, this unsightly display of anger shames us all. Are all those who live by the sword as uncouth as you? The cruelty of your damning words is an oppression upon decent men like myself. Let's see how long you can. Heed me, soldiers. Arrest the mad butcher. What? The accused shall heed his crimes. 1 moon ago, an anonymous letter threatening to take the life of the right state councillor arrived at the royal court. Oh, they're blaming him for it. Damn. This audacious is an affront to not only the royal court, but the heavens and men alike. The revered left state councillor, who has long been in disagreement with the royal state councillor on matters of the state, found this offence to be so heinous that he has personally commanded his men to protect his political enemy on the day written on the letter. Huh? Yet a tragedy has struck. All those lives sent to protect the noble councillor are slain, the bravery and justice of their honourable hearts trampled upon the ground by this villain. And now the villain promises death to yet another pillar of the royal court. Thus we are perforce to arrest the criminal and restore the rule of law. You spout senseless drivel. I saw your men make their way into the councillor's bedchamber with their blades drawn. The councillor, might you be looking for the right state councillor here alive and well? My lord? The vile wretch leaned down next to my ear and whispered, "Perhaps you should have known where not to stick your nose. Did you really think you could overcome the entire private army in the left state councillor's service? He sent so many of his men to their deaths just to lure me into a trap. Why? Now don't take this as a compliment, as you're not even the apex blade of the homeland, nor are you the cloud blade, but you have been a rather egregious obstacle to the execution of my plans. Couldn't get through with the first thing in my plan with you constantly getting in my way. Let's keep you nicely locked up and out of trouble. This can't be." "For what it's worth, young man, I am sorry. I've come to realize the error of my ways. The truth is, though, S-Corp is indeed a pond of turbid waters. It was those like us who had stirred the dirt from its bed and turned it cloudy. Fearing the worst, we arrived to protect the revered right state councillor. A thousand curses upon the villain in his quest of the right state councillor's life. The butcherous man has already watered the ground with S-Corp's labourers, the very lifeblood that runs in the veins of the most serene wing. And that charcoal-hearted villain is none other than the councillor's sworn guard, Kim Lid. Honestly, even if he did kill him, why the hell would he send a letter? That sounds idiotic. Heed us, O villain. Han ho bai, and let the aura bond take you. You've fallen far, my friend. You who were once considered a candidate of the honor of Angiom, and with that brand of a nobby sapped in your strength. Even your mastery with the blade will only dull. Are you to be my executioner, Ji-Yong? I hadn't received the order to behead you, if that is what you're asking, nor would it benefit someone of my station to sully my hands with an executioner's duty. How will you live on now? I don't know. The councillor has abandoned me. There is no path forwards. Is more corrupt than I had thought, rotten to the core. This is where the game ends. Time to resign my stone. Indeed it is. Why are you freeing me? Once a game has been lost, you start anew and test other gambits in the next round. Why don't you stop playing this unfair game where the opponent always starts with the stones placed on all 9 star points on the board, and find a place where you can begin anew in equal standing. As soon as they realize it was you who freed me, they'll come after you. It's okay. Unlike someone who made a fool of himself and fled after passing the royal examinations, I have the royal court's backing as its military commissioner. My position in the court isn't so fickle that they would cast me down right away just because I let go of someone like you. You're a branded criminal in the eyes of the royal court. You're as good as inconsequential. I'll report that even if you were to flee, you would still be nothing more than a plaything in the palm of their hands. I didn't think you were the kind to go against the honorable principles. Some things can't be done without bending a rule or two, and you are needed, S-Corp's future is in need of those who are less bound by expectations like yourself. Besides, it's not the rules I stand by, it's my own principles. I did say I owe you a token of gratitude, didn't I? Consider this a settlement of that. Gratitude and vengeance, after all, share a common quality. They are both debts to be repaid. Gianno, come with me. There is no hope left for S-Corp. You said it yourself, didn't you? We'll never win as long as we're playing their rigged game. Listen, they might have all 9 stone advantage over you, but to me it's as small as 3. I'll manage and keep my finger on the palm, but besides, change doesn't always have to come from the outside. The old wisdom says to catch a tiger you must enter its den, but wouldn't it help to have an ally waiting in the tiger's den to back you up when the time comes? They're all done. Your bonds are severed. Go now. Go and build your strengths beyond the walls of S-Corp, yet beware of relying overmuch on foreign powers. I don't have it in me to take up such a grand purpose. I'm done with S-Corp. You know how I am. I just go with the flow. Yes, yes. Do as you will. Go with the flow. Do whatever you want to be. But I'm just hoping that the current of the river will someday bring you back to S-Corp. That's all. Though I had left the rigged game, my records afterwards weren't stellar. The laying of the stones on my board was always full of holes and mistakes. I joined the Blade lineage because their mentor dragged them into the library, until eventually I cut down those who had placed their faith in me, self-defeating move after self-defeating move. When Gioyop had let me go, I thought I had escaped the Tiger's Maw, but as I let the game progress with the flow, I soon came to realize that my life was an endless sequence of connect and dies. I was in a losing play from the start. Shadows dancing by the distant humanoid form began to grow like wildfire, and those in the attire of the Blade lineage, one by one, leap over the wall and approach us. Like the projections of Kim's darkening phantoms, they're from his memories. Films and photographs can sometimes remain undoctored, but the impression a person gets from viewing the photograph is malleable. Then they must be after. Yeah, Kim believed that if the Blade lineage were to come back to life, they would want to kill him. I mean, that's kind of understandable. He did get them all killed. And now more combat. Okay, it's an actual combat stage this time. Hell yeah. Positive, positive, positive. Yep. Dominating. And like that. There we go. And kind of hoping that would do more damage. What the hell are you even attack? Oh yeah, because I'm an idiot and didn't attack the prescribed person. Gotta love Big Bird's crossbow. You have to attack you. That's dominating. And let's say attack you. There we go. Almost dead. Another unit almost dead. Hopefully this will kill you. Yep. And get a free attack. That technically took up my actual attack if it killed the target. Considering this is a focused encounter, I'd thought it'd be harder. Prescribe to victim. There we go. Damn it! I may literally just remove the stream element spot, considering it can't even stop AIs from talking. There we go. Oh, we're almost there. Closer and closer to the heart of the Phasms. Someone carrying a sword on his belt and a sack on his shoulder leaped into a haystack near us. A few moments later, a small squad of Chinooks, torches in hard, rushed in from the same direction the man had come from. We saw a criminal who had coveted the kingdom's properties flee in this direction. Speak up if you have seen the wretch. The Chukarus began walking up to the civilians and questioning them about the criminal's whereabouts. Despite all having seen the man jump into the haystack, all of them shake their heads and refuse to give up the criminal. Are they hiding him for some reason? Soon the Chinooks have made their way through the crowd, approaching us as well. What should we do? Say that you don't know, then slowly turn towards the haystack. Point them in the wrong direction. He will step forward. Mersault. So he went that way, huh? Appreciate the assistance. Once the group of Chinooks hurried towards the direction I point them towards, the man crawled out of the haystack. Seeing that the Chinooks had gone, some of the civilians walked up to the man and gave their thanks. Good work, you can't have those vile Chinooks take a noble thief like you away. A thief for the people. They're all wretches, I say, wretches. So well fed while we all starve. I bet they'll bleed rice if we gut 'em all. He returned their gratitude with a polite bow and approached us. You have my thanks. I did not expect to be shielded by outsiders such as yourselves, but this is a welcome surprise. Who am I, you ask? Well, I have no name to give you, but it seems the common folk have taken to calling me the like-minded blade lineage. I'm only stealing the sacks of rice the corrupt officials have stolen and returning them to where they belong, just as mentor bamboo-headed Kim had once done. Kim squeaked out a small, embarrassed cough. I've lingered here too long. They're already on my trail again. It's about time I saw myself off. Even in a hurry, he bade us to wait a moment as he rummaged through his sack and produced a few packages of food. Take these. It's not much, but it should be quite filling for those on the road like yourselves. Gratitude and vengeance, after all, share a common quality. They are both debts to be repaid. With that, he withdrew into the shadows. Into the fathoms. Or deeper into the fathoms. You have to die by that. I know that. Let's go that way. And rending up. Gotta love Ophi. And prescript filled. And you're now the damn prescribed victim. Are you? And I guess, like that. 14. There we go. Almost staggered. Oh no, we did stagger him. Hell yeah. One down. 2 down. Three down. Staggered you. And click win rate. And done. Hell yeah. And jump to you. Considering this is the end of the Phasm, it is time to, let's say, remove the house. Like a prey backed against the cliff edge, I am left bereft of path. My hands hesitate, with no room to place a stone. Misjudgments burgeon when contemplations harrow the mind indeed. Now all that remains is to neutralize that one enemy combatant in the yard. Tell me, who's waiting for us in there? You should know this place and its enemies are projections of your memories. Not the hardest guess to make, is it? I expect to find I'm Jiongo in there. Jiongo was a woman of loyalty and principles. Even as a military commissioner, she never stopped wanting to change the way of the royal court was. But even she must have broken in the end. I scourged the newspapers and TVs for anything I could find on the current state of S-Corp, but it was plain as day that nothing had changed there since my departure. Mentor, is that not but a baseless speculation? Your concerns grow uncontrollable. Never have you spoken to us about such a monstrous one in the past. Thus what lies before you is but a figment of the distortion reflecting upon your memories. Did this, I'm young, appear as the monster does mentor? No. Bamboo had Kim, it wasn't like that. Jong, yep. I still believe that Salapipio deserves to die. But destruction's not the point. The point is what I want it to be, a place where I can cut away the average corrupted and have it be a wing that cares for its common folk, as if that would ever happen. If I didn't know better, I would have thought you were seeking to supplant the current S-Corp. You know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just a wanderer floating down the river's flow to where the current takes him. When the river bent and I hit a wall, someone picked me up and made a blade out of me. Once abandoned, I returned to the flow and found myself a mentor to those who afforded me the undeserved faith. And the river continues to wind, carrying me back to S-Corp, whence I had fled. Shall I let the blade sing my inner thoughts? You think I'm satisfied with the way S-Corp is? But your message, as it is now, goes against the principles. I expected better from someone of your wills. If you enjoy those principles so much, then why ask me to leave the game? Because someone has to stay behind and try to bring change within the limits of their principles. I only hoped that one of those bends in the river of yours would float you back to knock on the gates of S-Corp once it was primed for change. Has that changed? What do you think? You at least seem to think that I have. Because you believe that I shall stand in your path. Stand in my path. And stem the flow of the river evermore. Very well. The law states that denial of the will of the royal court is a crime deserving of death by beheading. I'm Jura's second ordinance of the I'm not even going to bother trying to read some of these words. Official of the sword and military commissioner to the royal court shall uphold the command and sever the buds of rebellion before they propagate. What's that? Brand? No. Okay, yeah. Oh, I already got something. Okay, let's look at this. So I do have yield. Neutral. G'day, albino ring corporealist. I did not think there were still any corporealists around. I thought most of the people of the movement had died out. Good. Acupuncture. You. And you. Go. Not a lot of damage. This up and Don's dead. Okay. Interesting. Although that is striving to draw, surviving with drawing and all that would probably be harder to gain materials than with bodies, considering you're a dungeon. No, I am doing the intervallo. I am trying to finish off the intervalo today. Cleared. And where is Roshu? There you are. At this second, I'm just killing off all the members of the House of Spiders, which it appears I already have done. So I will hold off on killing Yi Sang for a bit. So what's that? Favored, hopeless. There we go. And you. Favored. Favored. Waiting. Oh, wait, so don't do anything with you, don't do anything with you, it's just you. There we go. Probably should be actually paying attention. Ah, okay. I still think those arms would be painful to use. Imagine being ripped forwards by rockets in your arms. And 20. This battle's going pretty well so far. There we go. Didn't really do much damage, but I don't get many opportunities to successfully do a claim your bones. If you have any from 1 point you go in empty, the rusty coin. Oh yeah, that's normally one of the... I normally always try to pick it up if I see it inside of the dispensary. It's especially useful for Ryoshu because of some of her one coin attacks. Oh yeah. Wait, so what does and space, yeah. Okay. Wait, so which one? So you're already being clashed, you're already being dealt with. One at the back here might be a problem. Please buff him. He looks fine at the moment. He's got haste, slash, and brand, which does something apparently. And use consult. Here you go. Okay. Sure. Choose you, and that, and I guess offset that. Oh wait, no, wait, is there something I haven't clashed? Oh no, and that. Let's go. Ah, okay. Gotta love free attacks. Yeah, even Ophiophis seems to be doing pretty well, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. Also, man, is she tall. Like, damn. Washing the unit and like... Yeah. She doesn't have anymore. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure that this ego is the abnormality that comes from this the abnormality that gave us this ego was originally going to be it was going to be the abnormality form of damn, what's his name again? I forgot it. What's his name? Kim. Yeah, Vampire Kim. It is what would have happened if we didn't manage to bring him out of distortion and he fully fell into the last stages of the disease. Which one of these? You and you. Here's my flash. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I know of one case where it happened directly in Leviathan. Damn member of the ring turned into Schadenfreude after distorting. It's an inevitable fate that essentially anyone who distorts will eventually reach. So technically, what was his name? It was the damn third version of Aeon you had to fight against. Adam. Technically, Adam was right. Yeah. I tried to read it, but I couldn't really find any English versions of it. Yeah. Technically, Adam was right in the end. What Cartman wanted was to distort the world and turn them into abnormalities. So by going against him, we technically went against what Cartman wanted. A lot of Project Moon fans, we don't really read stuff. We don't even read stats of characters. Like hell, I haven't read any of her attacks or stats. Something I probably really should have done. Yeah, unfortunately not really doing high damage, but we are doing very good clashing. I killed off every nurse father, ID 30, Wednesdays, Echo Shard, 6 coins, yeah. I was going to do that. The reason why I didn't know was because I wanted to try to get as many bonuses as I could for the event. Wait, no, someone is clashing that. Someone's clashing that. Do you? Wait, so... yeah, all these are being clashed. So it's just these two who got a hit now. Damn. Oh wait, she's in full positive now. Damn it. I somehow need to get a skin for myself on Minecraft Bedrock. I don't know how skins work on Minecraft Bedrock, to be honest. The only version that I play is Java Edition. Mainly because I like playing with the Create mod. I am currently waiting for a version of the Create mod to be released for the latest version of the game. I have one problem though. Yeah. From what I know, you have to buy them in game as an in-game transaction or something. Wasn't enough that you already bought the game, you got to spend even more money on it. I don't like I don't mind microtransactions in games that you get for free, but when it's in a game that you paid for, I don't like it. Autumn biomes up soon. Ah, neat. And unfortunately, I will not be able to play with that biome because I'm stuck on 1.21. Because the Create mod hasn't been updated for the latest version yet. There we go. Is that... There's a second phase to this fight, isn't there? I'm just gonna guess there is. I'm going to quickly hold off for a second using Furioso. I will be streaming Minecraft today, after this, depending on how long this takes. Depending on how long this takes, I might do it immediately after, and after this, or like in a short amount of time. And slice you, 7 health, and you're dead. She's not as powerful as I recall, yet weighed down by the brand, I am not so fast ahead or behind. I don't know, I think you're doing pretty well. Verily, they appear evenly matched, yet. He's wielding that sword like he's trying to get himself killed. That blade work is far beneath him, seeking the end here, is he? Can you afford to look away in a duel? What are you doing? You'd rather lock your swords with mine than parry it away? Can't have a proper sword fight without a blade lock, though, huh? The duel between the mentor of a syndicate and a military commissioner of S-Corp is neck to neck, clash after clash. The two warriors evenly locked their blades in a constant of might before it comes to a close in a final, fatal bout. When the dust settles, the mentor lies in the sand dead. If that is what you want, I will grant it. Good, let's finish this. Just as Bamboo-headed Kim and Jung... I still can't read her name properly. Readied for their final bout, Ungdu leaped in between them, and I hope bashed him in the head with a sword. Ungdu? Are you really so ashamed that you would choose death over life, mentor? Are you so scared to live that you'd rather die? Yes, I am. I'm scared. I'm terrified of my own audacity to live my days as though I hadn't failed everything and everyone who had the misfortune of placing their faith in me. My mission, my honor, my fellows, as though my path isn't haunted by ghosts, as though I can stand shamelessly before the watching eyes of the heavens. What have I ever done with the life that was given to me? Blind to the realities of my homeland, I severed a master who chose politics over loyalty and justice. I cut down my very own fellows who chose to trust a fool like me. I walked my entire life as the flow carried me, and when I finally had the mind to look back, all I saw were blood-red traces everywhere I had gone. Isn't it about time I admitted that this game cannot be won? That mentor, that weakness in your strength has failed your mission. The weakness in your position has failed your honor, and the weakness in your heart had become the fiendish blade that cut down your fellows. Ungdu, I thought you were here to talk me into keep on living, yet your words pain me so. What weakness of yours is it this time that you would cast away your own creed and life? What other weakness will you use as an excuse today? Stop trying to bear responsibility, asking not of you. The Blade lineage was never about responsibility, nor was it about you, mentor. Or does your overbearing guilt help you overestimate your importance? What was that saying again? Fellow travelers in the same boat will aid one another. Not a single soul demanded that of you. Talk about kicking a man when he's down. And I have had enough of that flippant larking of yours. We all have. Do you truly believe that not a single one of us had picked up on the fact that all your levity was a means of revealing yourself of the burden you had cast upon your own shoulders. None of us ever demanded some impossible feat from you. What was it that you always said to describe yourself? That you are but a butchering blade that wields not itself a tool wielded by willing hands. Why, mentor? I know not what kind of shame or responsibilities a mere tool has. Do you? Because I fail to see any. If the shame does not subside still, then shroud your face with the bamboo hat of yours and live on. Live on so that you may repay your debts. Out of blades, out of arrows. Even the heart that sought death lies beneath at your feet. There is no stone left for my next gambit. There is nothing more. Indeed, perhaps there was some merit in your words, that I must retreat from the silly game of stones and become a fiend of blades. Mentor, what is not what I said? Interesting. Whence did you hear that poem? Yes, when invented, a bamboo hat is like an unladen ship. Ungdu and Umjo were knocked away from Bamboo Hatted Kim as though bound off by an invisible force. Kim raised his gaze to meet the empty air as though someone were there. A hollow laughter escaped his lips. We know who he's talking to. It's the voice. It's Cartman. But your last move was not a good one. Indeed, I did wish to become a blade. And what did you do? Forge me into an indiscriminate one that cleaved blindly into friends and foes both. It seems that in your excitement you have cornered yourself with the last move. Well, as it seems that I have had an opportunity to retrace our past moves, allow me to try something different this time. And be not so vexed by this round, as you say. We never knew what the next game shall bring. I appreciate and will treasure the other bits of your advice. But let us play by the rules for tonight's game. Something's different this time, innit? He ain't distorting, I think that's an efflorescence, perhaps. Nothing is from certain indeed, yet I trust that the words of my last remaining follower have also reached your ears. Did anyone else just hear a bell? I am but a tool wielded by willing hands. Nothing in my life has ever been certain. And another bell. Or a gong. I know not whether this move is what cements my defeat, but I desire it to be a victorious stone nonetheless. Thank you. I will take what encouragement I can. The strange, invisible pursuer dissipates, and the armored woman Amjo readjusts her grip on the sword. Kim turned around to look at her, and I saw that a weight shadow seemed to have been lifted from his face, replaced by a mix of release and determination. A bit embarrassing to change my stance now, but now I fight to live. And I suppose you will be okay with that? Of course. To hide from the heaven's gaze, this hat I wore. An empty boat, it bore my friends along. In bamboo veiled, we drift from shore to shore. With wine I doffed my hat to watch blooms throng. In mirth I doss that shroud to moon adore. So with this bamboo hat to veil my brow, though winds and rain may rage, I shall not show. Hide to me, bamboo-hatted one, speak your name, for I find your outfit dubitable of character. I am he who has mentored the veil. What to call a man who has failed to disburden himself of the world? How to name a man who has failed to bear the weight of the world? There is none. So call me Bamboo-Hatted Kim. Bamboo-Hatted Kim, the treacherous wretch. Or treasonous wretch. And dead. He didn't really yield any flesh for that attack. He just straight up claimed her bones. The photographs rapidly fold away from reality. Perhaps because Kim had successfully managed to face his own past. When the photographs and memories that were overlaid upon the phasms are pulled away, what remains is a man in dirty, ragged clothing. The phasms of S-Corp slowly lose grip on this world, and soon reveal the phasms of the distortion that was hidden beneath it. I see residents of the backstreets in their blissful highs from taking the canned experiences. Yep. He claimed her photographic bones. And a man who's watching them with disapproval. Why is everyone running away from all this? A baker always surrounded by the smell of freshly baked bread. A florist who makes lovely bouquets for graduating youngsters. A photographer who captures beauty sights to remember. They're yours, our lives, our experiences. You want to be a billionaire with an extravagant mansion in a nest? A legendary fixer who can make the syndicates cower in fear just by going on a stroll? What you get from those cans is not real. Panics. She's developed memories. Oh. I probably would have seen that if I read her panic state or something like that. Is everything in your lives all of this? Just empty means to an end, so that you can get high on fake purchases experience nailed into a can. There's actually probably a few canned experiences with Roland in them, considering his massacre. Probably a few people took photos of him and turned them into experiences. If that's all your life is, then my life, and the photographs I've taken are all... No, it can't be. My life. Those experiences and memories I've photographed are different. They're all blindly consuming fake experience after fake experience, without a care about the real thing. That's why you're all floundering, grasping at illusions. So, let me show you the things I've shot. The memories. The experiences. The reality of your lives. If he had cat experiences. Honestly, it would probably be... He'd probably want an experience like... probably a moment from his past when Angelica was alive. Fun fact, I actually know a person IRL called Angelica. And, yeah. I would think, what Angelica? I don't think he would like Ham Ham Hang Pang, to be honest. He'd probably use one canned experience and then find it, disappointing. He'd probably find it disappointing and nothing like the real thing. It was only in passing, but I glimpsed an unmistakable grimace, a scowl on Marsault's face. I reflected upon the events of today and could at least begin to guess as to why that might be. You don't believe there's any experience in either the canned experiences or that guy's photographs, do you, Marsault? Because experiences and memories aren't the same thing. It's called walking advertisement for a reason. Yep. But, yeah. Honestly wish I could go to that store IRL, but I'd have to go all the way to Korea. It's not the same thing. But again, if that restaurant uses damn T Corp singularity infused tools in order to help properly cook their meals. If I went to a restaurant like that, I would probably be a walking advertisement as well, because the food would probably be damn good. Wait a second, what would aged wine be like in the city? Considering T Corp singularity? Can experiences make your experience life as a different person? Well, yeah, that's... it was mentioned that just a few bits ago in the lines of dialogue. So it was mentioned that someone was experiencing the life of a fixer. Or a fixer who would make any syndicate fear them. We don't really know much about can experiences though. My best guess is like my best guess is like you're watching a movie, but instead of from a camera, you're watching it as if you're in the eyes and the body of the person who's the main character. That's my main guess. What really distinguishes them, I wasn't sure. Correct, manager. But what I knew was that the distortion was, for whatever reason, important to Mersault. Damn. Oh yeah. Isn't it common for people to use can experiences to experience suicide before doing it? Yeah. I'm pretty sure somewhere said that the most commonly sold canned experiences are those of murder and suicide. Doesn't make sense for murder though, considering how much murder happens in the backstreet. Yeah. Moths are not that dangerous, don't worry about it. I've had plenty of moths land on me and all that. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why murder is a common canned experience to be sold, considering the amount of murder that happens in the backstreets. Hell, it's probably common by age 18 to probably have killed one person, at least in self-defense. Huh? A figure materialized into a humanoid form swirling out of the projector. He must be the distortions. And next to him is another figure, stumbling out in a giant suit of armor. Blimey, that thing's still alive! It is but an overlay of phasms created within distorted space. The concept of life and death has little meaning for such a thing. I would honestly want to buy a can experience to be a different person. Honestly, I personally wouldn't. I was gonna scream my simp. Yep. Yep. Always simp for Faust. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't want to buy a canned experience. I don't really see a point to living through a fake life or anything like that. Sure, I play video games and watch shows and all that, but a canned experience just seems too removed from humanity to me. Yeah. Yet faint does she grow, it must be that the distortion's power is waning. Hark, accused one, for these are your crimes. Why buy can experiences when PM just released now Faust plushie? Wait, they did what? I missed the damn merch drop that had the Ryoshu plushie because I couldn't afford it until literally the day they finished it. May look tough. Light switch. Come on, light switch. I'll forward it to yourself. Please do. Yeah. Honestly, I am kind of wondering though, what would be the limits of a canned experience? Because wouldn't it be fully possible to live the experience of a inanimate object? Damn Coconut Simulator getting a brand new update, canned experienced edition. What am I even at? What is the at? Nothing really important. Wait a second, just from another server that I'm in. The crime of formatting chaos in a foreign wing while impersonating... I'm not even going to attempt to read any of that. The crime of exploiting the suffering of downtrodden as a mere veil of one's own phantoms, and though it be but a part of reenactment, impersonating a military commander of the kingdom without the royal decree. Pursuant to the law of the homeland, the accused is to be sentenced to death by beheading. And before we even had the chance to step in or anything, the faint mirage-like warrior brought down her sword on the docugrapher's neck, decapitating him. Damn. Imagine getting decapitated by your own distortion. Also, I like the little detail of the neck hole. Can an entity of the phasm slay one outside it? Such an instance has heretofore never been observed, but as it is happening right now, right before our eyes, I can say yes. Damn, it's not often she talks in the first person, especially when stating something. Jeoniop is a woman of principles. She would have done the same to the bitter end had she truly been here. As the headless body of the infection point crumpled to the floor, Jeoniop's shape slowly phased out of reality, and we found ourselves back in the projection room. And there... No way. Don't tell me they're headless corpses. We found a large group of injured and corpse staff through pale-mel about the room, and Ezra, who was looking down at the headless body of the doppelganger. Losing a head isn't that bad in the city, as long as the brain is alive. As long as the brain is alive, is not destroyed, according to the laws of the head, it can be brought back, as long as the brain is intact. So, being decapitated doesn't matter really, as long as the brain is still functional. It is fully within the laws of the head to resurrect the person. Although it would probably be expensive. Checkpoint, click here. Buy the tickets first. All of them. And then the boxes. And then, Keflin. Okay, let's open all these real quick. Yep. And let's do another 10 pull on Heathcliff, because I really want to get him. Please be Heathcliff, yes! And now I go back to saving for Walpurgis. But she took me in and put a roof over my head, fed me, taught me this bloody incredible sword fighting style, the sort a lowly vagrant like me would never have had the chance to learn. I know that shit. I know that, but is this how the rest of my life is gonna go? 18 Australian, yep. Wait, let's check. Lunacies, yeah, basically. Damn. Probably over. Actually, the funny thing is, something kind of funny, if I'm buying on Steam, I have to have it transferred from, I have to have it restored, like, I have to pay in American currency, like, with transfer rates and all that, but on my phone, I pay in Australian currency. I pay less on my phone than I do on Steam, because my phone goes straight from it's straight from Australian. Anyway, nothing that I just said probably made sense. Let's just throw you on. And I do not think I have enough. Yeah, I don't have enough to uptime. I ran through them all, upgrading egos. Back to this again. The subject. Yep, right on. Gotcha, team leader. And that's the initial report done. Good work, guys. Tucking her radio back in, Ezra commended us in a relieved voice. Honestly, I wonder who's taller. Is it Ezra or the Geo person? The distortion has perished in the mission. Will that not cause trouble? Yeah, that kinda sucks, but it's not like you guys could have helped it. Who would have thought that the distortion would kill its own infection point? If we knew that in advance, we probably would have prepared something to stop it, but sigh. Well, that's for the LCD and team leader to investigate. All in all, this mission was still a success since we managed to eradicate the distortion from N-Corp, not to mention satisfying our client. Also, Ezra looked towards Angdu and Kim with a light-hearted shrug. It's because you have to do payments from your account to Steam at the game via Steam Wallet. While for mobile, they made it from your account to the game. The reason it's transferred is because Steam is an American company. Yeah. To be fair, up until like a few years ago, maybe no more than 5 or so years ago, you had to pay in American currency. It was actually kind of more, it was within the last 5 years or so that they made it so you can pay with your native currency on Steam. Wait, Ezra looked towards Angdu and Kim with a light-hearted shrug, clearly less concerned than she had been earlier. Now I finally know why you've been disappearing on your own without letting us know. Glad you don't seem to have any more reasons to though, so it's all good. Hey, that's a real win with this mission in my books. Phew. The point is, we did it. We did the thing, it's done. Gosh, I swear I am never doing one of these without the team leader ever again. Seriously, I got this close to losing it more than a few times. Yeah, but what happened with the N-Corp employees? Shouldn't they still be chasing us? It seemed that the responsibility of looking after her LCD juniors had kept her stressed and high-strung throughout the mission. I hadn't noticed it, but her brow had finally relaxed, bringing back the chipper Ezra I was more familiar with. Thus, I shall not abide by more of your indolence. You will now join us on missions and take as you are expected to. Is that understood, Mentor? Angdu, would you mind releasing the hems of my sleeve? Oh, what I wouldn't give to lie down and pass out right about now. The raw emotion in Kim's voice had likewise faded, and with Angdu's voice no longer as barbed as it has been in the Phasms, it seemed to me that the two of them were back to more relaxed selves I knew. Can't exactly say more relaxed for Kim though, cause that's how he's always been, at least from what I've seen in any case. Yeah, he's basically the Gintama of this universe. Fine, you are released. You've given me a good, hard shake. I don't feel so good. Say, Angdu, I'm afraid they may have gone overboard with upgrading your arms. It's for sure, Yandere. Yeah, most definitely. I think the only thing that kind of separates her from being a yandere is I don't think her feelings towards Kim can be described as love. I think that's the only thing that kind of separates it. Yeah. With your hem released, allow me to reinstate that. Stop. My heart finds peace as well as I watch them bicker. Is everyone doing okay? Yes, Executive Manager. Our forces have only suffered minor injuries that do not require you to go through the trouble of rewinding the clock. Oh, hang on, mate. I've got a dislocated shoulder. So relocate it. Shove it back in. I can pop that right back into place for you. Allow me. I've taken care of similar injuries in the field. Oh, yeah, and guess what happened the last time I let you do that? You rotated my bloody arm the wrong way and turned the bone in my shoulder into little chips. Don't sweat it, I can rewind that. But, you know, I've already grown used to the pain of rewinding the sinner's injuries. A dislocated shoulder shouldn't be a big deal. I have ought to ask thee a clarification, if thou will. Yeah? Dost thou recall how as we battled the N-Corp, pin frame team, the foe have taken photographs of us? And they are those who were sent to identify and capture the one who has violated a taboo, forsooth. As we stood in their path, 'tis no mystery why we had to come to blows, yet I find that this to be most perplexing. Wherefore did they take so many photographs of us? It'd be funny if one time Dante rewinds the small injury and just passes out from the pain. Yeah, that would actually be kind of funny. Imagine Dante trying to rewind a stub toe. Maybe they were taking photographs to report their locations. Recording footage is taboo in M-Corp, meaning they can't install security cameras here. Their only option is keeping a constant record when tracking down a case or a person is by photography. Thine words hold water, yet most puzzling forsooth. For I recall with clarity that from a certain point they had begun photographing us with renewed observation. Oh hey, that sounds like a question from Result. Given how I had to rely on the information Result had provided me in the mission, I think I've gotten enough practice on how to phrase my questions the right way and pull the answer I need from him. Don wouldn't know what holding water is like though. True. Although, to be honest, we've seen Don get wet quite a few times, I think, without a problem. So, I think it's just... I think the reason that she wouldn't know what holding water is, isn't because she can't go near water, because she seems to have overcome that natural fear for blood fiends, but the fact that she probably doesn't shower. Because, let's be honest, I do not think that gremlin has bathed a day in their life. I couldn't get him to tell us his own judgment on matters, but since he seems to have a near photographic memory of what he's seen... Result, do you remember how many pictures of us N-Corp staff took? I do, 56 times. Damn. That's a lot of pictures. You actually remember that exact number of times they shot us? Well, I'm pretty sure he's autistic, so that would make sense. I mean, the stranger was autistic. That's the whole reason the whole entire situation happened. I do. It's always so neat seeing his memory in action. So, did you get the chance to see which of us got the most photographs taken? I did. Oh, who is it? Who is it? Is it me? Make for a fine model? It's him. No, it wasn't you. It was me. Huh? But why? I mean, what's the most statistical likely reason that it was you? It was at that moment that I heard the sound of pebbles crushing under boot approaching us, louder and louder. Yep, N-Corp. They finally arrived. What the heck? N-Corp. Dang it, are you here because we beat up some of you guys? Listen here, we had to because of the distortion, see? It is as she says, the skirmish was an unfortunate consequence of combating the distortion phenomenon. Limbuscompany provides a customer damage compensation program in case of such unforeseen events. Instead of engaging us in battle, please elect to contact the emergency response team at our headquarters as your first. Results bad end ID, fine, just be these N-Corp grunts. Well, considering the end of the stranger, I don't think he's gonna get a bad end ID. Because the ending of the stranger was his execution. So, it's natural to assume that his bad end would be him being executed. Unless Limbus Company finds a way more messed up thing to do. And considering damn Ryoshu's daughter is now her sword, they'll probably find something messed up to do for his bad end. Yes, we fully understand the circumstances surrounding the battle, and we intend to submit an expeditious request for damage compensation as you have recommended. But we are here on different business, so if you would be so kind as to let us speak. Different business? They are here to arrest me, manager. Hold on, Mersault, let's hear them out. Well, I mean, wasn't Heathcliff and in Wuthering Heights dying of a sickness? Yes, he died of sickness. Which is really... Everyone just suddenly died in that book. It's really funny. And it's... Yeah. Oh, starving. Yeah, oh no, he died of a sickness. He died... after an event happened, I don't remember what it was, between his child and the child of Kathy. After an event happened between the two of them, or something. He then died of a sickness the day after. Which is really funny, because back then, people really died like that. They were fine one day, then died the next. Because, well, nowadays we know what killed people from sickness, injuries and all that. Back then, people just died the next day. Which I find so damn funny. Imagine imagine talking to someone one day, they're perfectly fine, all chipper and everything, and then the next you find they just died mysteriously. Wait, what? Result did not resist. He walked past us and joined the group of N-Corp employees. Please confirm that you are Mersault, formerly One Who Nails, and a former member of the maintenance and management team of the Grand Magnus Siphonus headquarters. Confirmed. By the decree of the Giants, you have been expelled from N-Corp with imprisonment as a penalty for non-compliance. Pursuant to Article 12 of the eviction regulations, you have also been informed that remaining in N-Corp's district for more than 6 hours may subject you to immediate arrest. Please confirm that your memories pertain to the above incident has not been expunged and you are of sound mind and recall it in its entirety. Confirmed. Very well then, in keeping with the regulations, I hereby notify you that you are now subject to arrest and transport. Place your hands behind your back and please offer no resistance. I am required to inform you that resistance may incur further penalties. Wait, stop. What the hell is going on? Wait, forget all that. Did you know this would happen, Mersault? Mersault, who stood calmly with his arms behind his back as the N-Corp employees handcuffed him, nodded placidly in my direction. I did, manager. Then why the heck didn't you warn? It was less a question and more of a reflex, but I didn't need to hear his reply to know why. Right, I never asked, did I? The service disk clouds are a bunch of autism nuggets. Damn. To be fair, it does make sense for N-Corp to hire a lot of neurodivergent people, considering their views on humans and all that. They'd probably want them seeing them as some kind of very specialized employees. Chroma was just insane. Oh, most definitely. She was schizophrenic. I wouldn't be surprised if she was schizophrenic or something. You did not. I'd say you should have warned us way earlier, but you'd just reply, I will follow these instructions going forwards, right? Yes, I would. Subject now in custody. From this moment onwards, you are considered a suspect and will be transported to N-Corp headquarters for your trial. As for the rest of you, would you be the organization the suspect is a part of? Organizer ours? What in the bloody hell do you think? Heathcliff, you are about to antagonize N-Corp, a wing. At least she wasn't J-Moo. So, J-Moo. Crap, which character was J-Moo? There are so many damn characters in this game. Oh yeah, her. Yeah. She was sociopathic. I would say that she falls under sociopathic and narcissistic personality disorder. I believe she would fall under. In the absence of reasonable justification cause, such a contract engaging in a battle with the city's corporate entity is strongly discouraged. In her fight, she was delulu. Oh, completely. And absolutely. I mean, hell, she didn't exactly distort, but it wasn't human what happened to her. It was a kind of distortion. A kind of distortion mixed within the properties of the boluses. Well, it wasn't even caused by Carmen, it was caused by the boluses, so it was kind of a... it's weird and complicated what happened to her. Also, I don't know why, but my damn bitrate is in the red. On, Twitch. Even though it's like over 7,000 something, it's still in the damn red. Knockoff distortion. Yeah, it was a knockoff distortion, basically. And honestly, military-wise, if the person still regained their sanity, that would be very, very useful for frontline infantry. Especially in a... well, even if they don't regain their sanity, having that on units would be very useful, especially in situations where the battle is almost certainly lost. Distortion but less cool. Yeah, distortion but less cool and less powerful. Because let's be honest, naturally born distortions tend to be a lot more stronger. Considering in some cases they warp reality around them. And considering she is the only known case of a false distortion, I would say, or call her that, we can say that with current evidence that false distortions, or non-Cartman associated ones, cannot fully warp reality. Because even before we entered the Phasms, the distortion was altering reality. Strongly discouraged. Yeah, and we're just supposed to twiddle our thumbs while they drag him away. This must be another piece of information they neglected to tell me. Yet another development that was set in stone. Despite her calm and collective explanation, I could tell this was not a pleasant situation for Faustiva, as she was sending an uncomfortable glance at the N-Corp employees. So, where are you taking him? Retrial will be scheduled for the execution of the exile sentence. They replied dispassionately as they took Mersalt into custody. We looked back at them, not knowing what to do or say. Just nod your head, and after they execute him, steal the corpse and revive him. All good. Considering the head seems to ignore our resurrection methods, which was proved in Hong Lu's chapter, that the head for some reason has allowed our somewhat negligence to their laws around resurrection. Mersalt, now in cuffs, gazed at us with an expression that would not have seemed out of place or any ordinary day. Honestly, N-Corp does seem like a little bit of a better place knowing that they have a court, because every single other wing we've been to, the second you break their laws, you don't get arrested or anything, they just kill you. At the very least here, they seem to give you some kind of trial, which is, like, better than death, or immediate execution. So let's try and level you up real quick. And I've got nothing. You know what, Luxcavation 3. I'm gonna skip battle because I get both the bonuses from the daily bonuses and because I get the bonuses. anyway. And I don't like fighting abnormal. I don't like doing the fights. Yeah. And grab you. And let's now thread spin you. And don't have enough. Heathcliff, I'll sacrifice some of these. I'll sacrifice all of them, because there's no one else I need to grab for Heathcliff. Love doing threads consecutive. Yeah. In one-on-one duels, my Palantrine style has the advantage. Gotta love that the way that Heathcliff reflects the damn some apprentice is being by actually good at fighting. Like, the main difference between the two is that Heathcliff properly paid attention to the lessons and is actually using the style properly, which you can immediately tell in their stances, because Heathcliff's stance is almost exactly the same as both Rodion and the nurse father, while the actual apprentice is all relaxed and sloppy, which I find a very kind of funny detail. I'm gonna quickly grab a mouthful of Sprite. Okay, let's do this then. Time to read the Uptie story. She leaned forwards, going for the kill. I see it then, imbalance, a split-second opening, narrow but an opportunity nonetheless. It's the only pathway to the impossible future I had imagined tens of thousands of times in my mind. The future I had put off time and again, now merely milliseconds away, waiting for me to seize it. Maybe I can end it now. Maybe this is my chance. That wandering thought cut deeply through my psyche, as if possessed by some ghost. I raised my sword arm. You. I blinked. Before I knew it, the sword in my hand had run through Master's heart. It wasn't as if I had a momentary burst of determination, no. My body moved on its own, like a creature flitching and curled up just moments before brutal thrashing, only this time it took the shape of a sword driven outwards. You little Heathcliff, you dare betray me after everything. Her eyes wider, almost bulging out of their sockets with shock and resentment. I look on quietly, trying to capture every last detail as Master scream. What will her last words? What will be her last words? Honestly, this doesn't even feel like a betrayal. It feels like the returning of it just feels like the return of a treatment. Also, it seems like Heathcliff is close to manifesting his ability of resurrecting the dead. I thought maybe I would feel the urge to pour out my anger on her, laying into her all the resentment I held in my heart, but I find neither there. Unlike all those times I imagined it, there is no catharsis, no laughter, not even the subtle surge of tears swelling at the corner of my eyes, nothing. Nothing but silence, all that noise in my head gone. It's so quiet up there that even my heartbeat feels sedated. Huh. Yeah, well, not a bad hell to throw yourself into. Like an ungrateful hound, I sank my fangs into the jugular of the woman who raised me. But this didn't feel like something I'd come to regret down the line. Yeah, no, I wouldn't regret it either if I was Heathcliff. Fuck that woman. As to why that might be, I suppose I must retrace this tale from the very beginning, starting with Yoshihide, the woman who has brought this hellish thing to the House of Spiders. The nurse fathers hardly got along amongst themselves. Wait, so, from what I understand, this this mirror world, basically Ryoshu took the place of her daughter, and her daughter took the place of her. That's basically what I'm getting at. But that doesn't exactly make sense to me, because her daughter is a clone of her mother. Which is weird, because who was the original Pinky Nurse father then? Did they just clone her and do something? Because there's a lot of weird implications I don't quite understand. Also, I find the idea kind of funny that one day your daughter goes out on a mission, that the daughter that you hate goes out on a mission, she comes back with a younger clone of yourself that she refers to as her daughter. That would be a real mindfuck. Also, because you'll be wondering why the hell the head hasn't executed you or the clone. It did not take long for me to learn as much after my arrival at the House of Spiders. Master spent most days hurling profanities at the other nurse fathers, and they would always return the favor by shooting demeaning looks at her as she drunkenly stumbled around. Whenever their look of contempt fell on her, and full harshly they did, she would snap at me, instead picking apart my behavior to find the tiniest fault and slapping me across the face. I used to believe it was a punishment for my lack of property, but, well, it's because rather obviously now she just needed a punching bag to vent her frustrations on. Though the nurse fathers were far from fond of each other, there was one exception: the nurse fathers of the Pinky. They were all careful around her, the woman whose face was always shrouded under a veil. The middle nurse father, whenever she left the house for whatever reason, would never forget to bring fruits or health supplements for the Pinky nurse father. And the index nurse father prepared and brought her delicious foods every meal, or sometimes sat by the shut door of her room to read her a book. Even the ring nurse father would sometimes hesitate and pace in front of her corridor before finally deciding to slip a neatly folded message under the door that he had completed a new piece of art. My master, the some nurse father, also seemed to harbour a similar affection for the veiled woman. The difference was that she did not seem willing to go and see the Pinky nurse father herself, whether because she could not be bothered to do so or couldn't swallow her own pride. Probably because she couldn't swallow her own pride. The damn Valencia is one of the most prideful characters I have ever seen in this series. And I kinda wish that it was not Gregor that got the final hit on her that killed her, but was her own apprentice. That would have been a lot nicer, in my opinion. But if that happened, then we wouldn't have gotten Emperor Gregor. She'd always send me instead of checking in on the Pinky nurse father and deliver the news back to her. It was hardly any trouble, but I never liked doing it. It always made my skin crawl, for whatever reason. So, she has sent you here again. Sinclair, see your fellow apprentice away if you would. I am not in the mood to receive a guest. It will be done, master. Pray walk with this humble self of mine, Heathcliff. Master has no wish to converse with anyone today. There was always a look of pity in her eyes. There gleamed from behind the veil pity meant for me, for Sinclair, all of us apprentices. Why would a prisoner of the House of Spiders, forced to helplessly watch the fast approaching end of her own life, still have pity to spare for us? None of the apprentices seemed to know the answer to that question. Not even Sinclair, her own apprentice and caretaker. It's probably because she knows the inevitable end. I have long given up on having that part of the mystery answered, but as it turns out, whenever Master began to ramble, she had a hard time stopping herself. It was one of those days when Master beat me until the bones of my limbs cracked and fractured. This time because I accidentally spoke too casually to Miss Don Quixote, having mistaken her to be a fellow titleless apprentice and not an official anointed proxy of the Index. Damn. Downing a few bottles of liquor had activated her tongue, and she began telling another story she could not end. I braced myself, expecting another long-winded ranting of the smoke war, only to be struck by something else entirely. It was about the golden ticket. I got a sank ticket, you hear me? She's the only reason you didn't end up another dead vagrant in the back streets. It's all 'cause what happened to Ticket after she ran away from home. Ran away from home, Master? The very same who fled from the house after completing all of those tasks single-handedly? Fuck! Heathcliff, did you really have to bring up that picture when I'm drinking? You sure know how to make good booze taste like shit, don't ya? Apologies, Master. Bitch takes after her mummy, that's why. Yeah, come to think of it, Ticket couldn't take it either. Scamperly off alone into that wide, unforgiving world out there as if this place was any kinder. See, though the House of Spiders is kinda like a retirement home for the has-beens, we ain't nobodies, you know? This is the Fingers Casino, and they're all waiting for the jackpot to drop. You catch my drift? All 5 fingers got their eyes on the project. Someone with such aptitude just up and leaving the House of Spiders, you can't imagine the kind of shit that stirs up. The fingers tracked her down. Yeah, the sum, the Index, and all kinds of motherfuckers to the city has to offer went snapping at her heels until she couldn't take it anymore and returned home. Coming home with a baby in her arms was a bit fucked up, but whatever, right? Bring up someone. Oil, jackass. Yep. What do you expect from a version of Valencia? She wasn't dead, and the project was now back on track, or so we thought. Because it was too late or something, according to Yi-sang. That's when I first learned that the Pinky motherfuckers can't use another relic once they've chosen one for themselves. And Ticket, well, she picked the Delu Stars blade over the Tisha Stars. We were fucked beyond any chance of redemption whatsoever. Our bosses ended up dishing out. We had to take it. Good thing we ended up passing on that unique aptitude to that mongrel brat of hers. So we decided to start over from scratch with the new girl. Wait a second, so is this version of Ryoshu a clone? Okay, since Araya is a clone of the Pinky Nurse Father, who was adopted by Ryoshu. In this mirror world, either Ryoshu was the original Pinky Nurse Father, who was then killed by Araya, but had a clone of her that Araya eventually picked up, or Araya at some point had relations with someone else and had a baby. Those are the implications that I've kind of gotten from this. And I don't know which one of the implications is better and worse, because both of them kind of seem like they might be messed up in their own way. Speeding things along with a workaround, then the new girl is the one who is currently away from the house. Yeah, Yoshihide, that bitch. What if she chooses to simply never return, Master? I'm not worried, she'll be back. Because she's got something Ticket doesn't. And that's all she ever said on the matter. She quietly downed a few more bottles before sleep took her. Something Ticket doesn't have, but Yoshihide does. It was a riddle without a clue, let alone an answer. The first thread that formed the solution came later when I had the opportunity to face Yoshihide as her textbook. I won't lose, not to you. I've watched and heard the same thing you've been taught until your memories. Maybe this Ryoshu is just one generation later, or maybe this is legit just a Raya. I don't know. Sure, there's many implications we can get from this mirror world. Many. I'm gonna have another mouthful of Sprite because my throat's hurting. Yeah. Or maybe in this, yeah, there's a lot of different things, or different ideas. There's a lot of different ideas that I have about possibilities for this mirror world, but I won't go dredging down that rabbit hole. I've watched and heard the same things you've been taught until they've etched into my memories, as well as etched into your body with scars, apparently. Get out of my way. I'm not wasting any more time on my inferior copy. Oi, lass, let me ask you something. Yoshihide had sought asylum in an upstairs enterprise called Limbuscompany. I found the records of the assistance they provided her, securing an infiltration route into the House of Spiders, in-depth research projects into relics, and the like. In short, it seems at the time that the company was committing to helping Yoshihide. When I'd first began my investigation at the behest of my master, it felt as though I was uncovering the fringes of an unknown significant force gearing up to help Yoshihide to strike the House of Spiders down with overwhelming might. But the more my investigation prolonged, it soon became obvious that not such calamity would come to pass. Limbuscompany refused to provide Yoshihide any further support beyond that, and they'd even cancelled the so-called Operation Spider Pry. So, what is it that keeps her moving? Why are you clawing your way back home anyway? After the way they've treated you, why? Now that her plan to involve an external party had fallen through, there was no chance that Yoshihide, no matter how hard she tried, would be able to overcome the combined might of all Nurse Fathers and apprentices. Most likely Diaz. Most likely what Diaz has done is provide enough assistance to give her confidence to attack the Nurse Fathers, in hope to fully realize her and use her herself. That's my idea, anyway, to why Limbuscompany would be assisting her, then all of a sudden stop providing assistance, including cancelling projects. But the only question is, how the hell would Diaz know anything about this? But, well, Diaz knows more than she should anyway, so it kind of makes sense she knows about this. But still, how does Diaz know anything about this? Yoshihide had to have known that she was no fool, but she pursued the back door to the House of Spiders nonetheless, as though it had always been her plan to take on the house all by herself, because in that hell awaits someone who is more precious to me than anything in the world, and the monsters I hate just as much, because without severing all of those threads that bind me, I can never truly be free from there. Why don't you run away yourself? It's obvious they're treating you like an animal. I can see it on you. That's how bad it is. That's... I could not answer Yoshihide's question even as our duel came to an end, with her shoving me to the ground. How could I, when even my own heart was foreign to me then? When I did not recognize all the times I had decided to put an end to it, only to find a convenient excuse to dally and postpone. Honestly, it's interesting that Heathcliff might be from what it seems like Ryoshu's sparing him. Which means that he is the only apprentice or person in the House of Spiders to be spared. Yoshihide's blade. I'm calling her Yoshi Hyde because I'm pretty sure she seems very different from Ryoshu. I don't think she would be going by Ryoshu because the events don't seem to line up with why she started calling herself that. The first time I truly began to ponder Yoshihide's question was after the Pinky Nurse Father and Sinclair had betrayed the House of Spiders. You serious about going with that lady, turning your back on us? Come on, I know your master didn't beat you like mine does, but she's hardly been kind to you. Because this moment, had I allowed it to pass, would have lingered for the rest of my life as a profound regret. Yeah, no Araya, no Ryoshu. What? My master treated me with such aversion, yes. Yet it was not for the lack of affection as it is with your own nurse father. It is only that she has seen far too often what happens to those she cares about. Thus I pose the self-same question to you. Why do you pledge your loyalty to her still? You have already done all the duties that true property demand of you. What more ought you repay? I have me. Let the end of your wandering be swift and consecutive. When the time comes, even the simplest casualty shall appear opaque, even the path laid before you cloaked as though under a haze. My humble self shall now depart, pray do not pursue us. I have already given her all that my heart could pour out, and I have served her with utter propriety that my mind could afford. If all of that were still insufficient to find the void in her heart, then what could? What she wanted, fame, honor, recognition, I could not give. Acknowledgement from a thing so lowly as myself would mean nothing to her. Then, if there really is no other way, I sink deeper into the well of my own mind, and at its bed I find Yoshihide parting words to me. Will Master one day come to regret her actions and change herself? No, she won't. Should I choose to leave her and now, would I find true freedom? No, I can never truly be free like that. Maybe the only way to really be free is to end it all with my own hands. Even on that day, I could not say out loud what or whom it was that I wanted to end. But whether that was my master or myself, there was a low but impulsive voice, a tight pull from the pit of my stomach telling me maybe I could finally put an end to this, whenever that looked like. He was not thinking of himself, I know that. People that are in his situation never think about suicide. It's always the last thing on their mind. So the one that he was truly thinking about ending was always his master. It's funny. It's funny how people in a situation where you would assume that they would be willing to committing off themselves are normally the people who hold stronger onto life. So I put a makeshift splint on my broken leg and hobbled through the back door. And that brings us to the present. First came the self-loathing, then the exhilaration of finally having gotten it over with, and now that all was said and done came aimlessness. What do I do now? I stand before Yoshihide and watch as she endlessly severs away at the world around her. There is no light behind her eyes. A sad end to someone who had lost the most precious thing in the world to her, a living corpse animated only by its unquenchable wrath and hatred until even the fury lost any meaning it once had. I don't want to be here anymore. This place has a way of driving people completely mad. Suddenly a terrible omen strikes through me. If I dally here any longer, it will mean my ruin. I hurriedly scan around me for what remains of the house. After all, the back streets make for a cold home for the poor, no matter what terrible violence I have suffered here. I ain't sure which of these fetches me a nice coin. Guess I'll pocket them shiny bits and then expensive bottles of My heart sinks the moment I catch a glimpse of her liquor bar. A mere glance and the floodgates of my memories crack open with little resistance. I recall the sensation of those same glass bottles breaking into 1,000 lacerating shards against my head. My master drowning bottle after bottle like she was throwing back water. Revelation to rears its head. Reality settles around me, and I am nothing but a disgusting traitor who has acted out of impulse and run his sword through his master's heart, all for a desperate struggle to end it all. I see. If I am to be happy, I shoved everything that seemed even remotely expensive into my pack. I took master's swords, hurrah, too. I don't know if I'll pawn them off or use them myself, but there are questions for another day. Today, I make a decision for myself. Yoshihide continues to cut away at nothing and everything all at once. And there lies a cold, lifeless corpse at my feet. I'll probably find more dead bodies not so far from here. Yeah, I know what I must do. It's never been clearer than this. If I do this, I'll go away forever. No matter what I look at, it won't come back. Yep, he's the first person to use the Araishiki trash disposal. Freed of desire, freed from remorse, feeling the tangled web of emotions that once bound me fall away, unveiling. I leave my home in silence. After throwing his master's corpse into the Ryoshu recycling. What do I have in that? What's this? Nothing. And that will get me 12 levels. Man, I remember back when I first started playing, when I tried to hoard these two so much, and like getting one of these every once in a while was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah, I will say one thing. I will be honest. If I was in a situation where I was able to move to other realities, I would probably end up like Wild Hunt Heathcliff and just start killing other versions of myself. After all, if you can move from any reality, from reality to reality, which one of you is really you? Wait, no, use result. And you know what, I'll use up the enkephalin boxes and turn them into modules. There we go. Let's just re-put in the full Nurse Father team. There we go. So quite literally, everyone now has a House of Spiders identity except for these two. But there isn't really anyone for them to get an identity for. So, yeah. Wait, no, technically Meursault does have a House of Spiders identity, but also doesn't, like this one. Alright, throw you back on. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I'm gonna go get myself, I'm gonna end the stream, get myself something to eat. And I think at either 9 or 10, so like 40 to an hour and 40 minutes, I will do a Minecraft stream. So, thank you all for coming. I have, of course, been clutchskelly. I still have no idea how to end these things. Yeah. It's funny. It's funny. I've been streaming for a long time now, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. Like, at all. Anyway, yeah, I will end the stream. Yeah, bye.